Welcome to Pocket Watch Podcast. I'm Zach,
Cruz,
Jake, and we're fucking Pocket Watch Podcast.
Yes, sir. Laugh at us or learn with us. We're here to grow.
And growing, we're fucking doing, man. Welcome to Pocket Watch Podcast. It's your boys.
That's right. It's another week, another episode. We got a special episode today. I know you guys see the setting, the scenery change, the scenery difference. I know you see the baseball bat. We're definitely in a coach's office right now. It's pretty crazy. But I want to say shout out to A-Game, shout out to TRIB3. Shout out to TRIB3. Here, talking to the mic.
Shout out to TRIB3.
Yeah, we got Teron Mallard in the house. We got sound effect applause, but can we get like a real applause? Can we get? Hey. Let's go. That's 10 times better than the sound effects, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. Make sure you like,
follow,
share,
subscribe. Tell Teron.
Tell your sister.
Tell your mother.
Tell your brother.
All right, man. Yeah, we got Teron Mallard in the house. If you guys have listened previously, we've had him on before. We talked a lot of football. We talked a lot of HBCU. We talked, a lot of the journey that he had leading up to that point. But Teron's been doing a lot of stuff since, working on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Working on a lot of things since. It's a big reason why we're here. We're very excited to be doing this. This is the most different kind of episode we've ever had. Let us know how you guys feel about it in the comments. But it's going to be some good content coming, man.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
So, Teron, what's up, bro? So, what brings us here, man? Thinking back from the last episode, right? Like, you were done with football, right? Doing some things like...
So, the last episode, we were still in motion. Like, we were still trying to get right with football. And then some things, like, happened where I was released in the league that I was in. And, like, the crazy thing was, like, I've always made sure that I was more than a football player. And so, when it came time and we got released, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to go home. I'm going to start a gym, and I'm going to be a professor. And a lot of people didn't believe it, or a lot of people, like, laughed. And it was like, so, bro, how you really feel? And I was always just like, man, like, I'm going to go home. I'm cool with being cut. I'm going to go home. I'm going to be a professor, and I'm going to start a gym. And so 2 weeks later, I get the job at Bethune-Cookman as a professor. And now we're starting with TRIB, and TRIB is here. And the first annual event was today, and that's it. And so the gym at first, we all kind of gravitate to what we're used to. So, like, it was, like, football-based at first. And then I started to look around and just go back and, like, down memory road where women have always played a huge part in my life. And so TRIB is a all-women's gym based on mental health, providing a safe space for women and just creating that environment for women to grow mentally, physically, and financially. Today we had an event where we had women-owned businesses coming in as vendors. We had a boot camp set up for us to touch on the physical part. And then here is just a safe space where we can get as vulnerable as possible and really touch on those subjects of, like, what it means to be a woman and what it means to be a woman in sports. And we'll get into that later, but, like, it's something that really touches me. It's something that I'm passionate about. And, man, I'll say by the year of 2025, TRIB should be up and running.
Ooh,
hey, let's go.
That's the goal right now, 2025. TRIB is
sure.
up and running?
Yes, sir.
Wow, man. Yeah, because I was thinking last time you were on, you were talking about, what was the league? What was the other league?
USFL.
USFL.
Yes,
I
sir.
remember when you were posting that when you were in there. Like that was super cool, man. Mm-hmm. And somebody that's played football their whole life, I think it is kind of like a hard thing to transition into something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but going to the great Bethune-Cookman, like, it just taught me so much about myself, and that I was more than just somebody to put on a helmet on Saturday and go run 100 miles per hour into somebody else.
Facts.
It made me realize that I was a black man first, and just with that, being able to beat all the stereotypes and beat all the statistics was what was so important to me, to see if I could create a way out other than football. A lot of times in our culture, in our generation, it's like, well, if I don't got football, I don't got nothing. If I didn't have football, I wouldn't be in school. If I didn't have football, I don't know where I would be. And so I decided to take another route and really be educated and show people that you can do whatever you put your mind to, and it don't have to revolve around sports. And then talking to an OG of mine, they say you never wanted to be the person on the front cover, like of an album. Like those names at the bottom, the producers, those people like that's on the back, those are the people that really make the money.
Most money, yeah.
And so like when we're talking about football, if I'm able to pay you $1 million, how much money do you think I have?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the owner and I'm a billionaire. And so me paying you $20 million a year really don't affect me. Mm-hmm. And so I would much rather be in a position to be the owner and grow my own brand than sit around and wait for other people's validation as an athlete, telling me whether I'm good or not, telling me if I'm tall enough, fast enough, big enough. Like I'd rather create my own path. And if I can do that and show other people the way, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's
Very
like
well put. I like that.
It's weird too, because like in football, it's like you're not tall enough, big enough, fast enough. Some of that stuff's out of your control, right? Like that's Zach. Zach's like, yo, I wanted to be an NFL quarterback for years, 5'5", bro. But like putting it in the matters of something that you can control is super dope, right?
Yeah,
like your business.
While we're talking about things that we can control. I used to wake up 4 or 5 o'clock to accomplish a dream, to like try to make it to the league. And you wake up and you like, okay, coach said if you do this, I can make it. But like when you're in charge of your own thing, like I'm waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock now because I feel like this is something that I have control of. I feel like if I put the work into something that I can control and not wait on validation, then what I put into work and the things that I do, it'll really like show itself. Yeah. And now I'm not waiting for anybody's validation. Like I'm in control.
Facts.
And so I'm in control of how many times I reach out to somebody. I'm in control of the rooms that I put myself in. And it's not about a coach. It's not about a general manager. It's not about any of that. And so just being able to like have that platform has been everything to me. Which is why we're here today.
Hey, you talk about validation. I mean, this event you put together today is super crazy. Like this is cool. Like I know the cameras can't see it necessarily right now for the episode, but we got a panel coming. We got, we got some different women talking about their experiences and stuff. This is something we've never really done. I feel very validated that you asked us to come do this. Like it is very, very humbling, very exciting, for you to allow us to do this. Man, it's going to be a nice little episode, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
So what is some of the things you wanted to accomplish with this event?
To show that we have a community behind us, to show that people are willing to come out and participate, and that we can like show love. Like we don't need it to be in the hands of no big name. Like little Teron Mallett can throw on an event and people gonna come out and support. And that's really all that I wanted to show, that we could have people come together, be in position to grow, be in positions to network, be in positions to get vulnerable and have that mental health space. I wanted to show that tribe is tribe, and it doesn't matter if we're in this big facility or we're right here in Poinciana's gym. Like, this is our tribe.
Facts.
Man, and you owning it, bro, because, some people are really scared to start something like this because they don't want to hear, the negative criticism or the things like, oh, you think you're big enough to throw an event, or, oh, you think you're cool enough to do that, or, oh, yeah, like, we got content coming, man. You got cameras around, like, some people won't do that just because they don't want to hear the negative criticism, because it's very vulnerable, right?
And it's the validation, though. We all look for it. We all look for it. And I never really care what people thought. I never really care what people said. Like, if I said I was going to throw this, and I wouldn't care if 2 people showed up, I'd have been happy, because it'll show that this is my tribe. Them 2 people, my tribe.
Yeah.
Man, so
you
how
gotta start from somewhere too.
I just want to ask too, because I feel like a big majority of this episode is going to be that panel and whatnot. But I wanted to ask, like, what are some of the steps that you're trying to get done with that 2025 goal? Like, you got anything in mind, like any other big things like fundraising, things like that, or what?
Yeah, we're going to go and have as many fundraisers and really get this out as much as possible. This is the first time that that I've even been on camera to show, like, people follow Tribe. Like, that Tribe page has a following, but nobody knows who's behind it. Nobody really knew that. And so, like, once this come out, people will see that it's me. And if they decide to follow, that's great. And then a lot of people didn't even know the purpose behind it. But what we have coming is like, we'll be able to jump into different events, like sporting events. I plan on hosting a Who Run It tournament, so where we can get two teams out of Volusia County, 2 teams out of Seminole County, the 2 best teams out of Osceola and Orange for women's basketball, and like, let's see who runs Central Florida.
Ooh,
And
That's big.
we're gonna
bro.
do like a lot of different things, man, because like just women in sports is so powerful. And I don't even want to get too much into it because we're about to have the panel come up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the plans for Tribe and the way we're gonna fundraise and really get into this thing is gonna be immaculate.
Damn, bro. I got my money on Volusia County, bro.
Ooh, I got some weapons there. All right.
So Orange really have the two top teams in the state, which a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
You have not Osceola, but you have Lake Highland Prep, who's number 2 in the state, and they've won 4 state championships back to back. And then you have Dr. Phillips, who's won it twice. Yeah. And so like number 1 and number 2 is right here in Orange. And so not only would it be new to have Tribe and have basketball courts, but there's a demand for it because we actually do have the talent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's gonna be dope.
Bro.
It's gonna be sick, bro.
Yeah, bro.
All right, man. Well, that's the inception. That's a little bit of Tehran. I think we're going to start shifting this episode over to the panel, man. This is going to be like the first episode we're not really going to be involved with, man. We'll
Not
be
that
on the
much,
side.
yeah.
You'll hear me a little bit here and there, but I hope y'all enjoy this, man.
Yes, sir. We're gonna go ahead and pause it up. We're gonna get back into it in a little bit. We're gonna reorganize some stuff, so you guys will hear back from us in a minute.
So I'm Tehran Mallet, the founder of Tribe, and I'm supported by a great group of women that I would call my tribe and people that have stepped in and supported this event and been a part of it. And so to my left is...
Hi, I'm Kiana. I am the owner of Complexions Apparel.
I'm Jasmine Sade. I'm a motivational speaker and also an entrepreneur.
What's up? I'm Shawana Steplight. I'm Step. You can call me Step. I am a mental health therapist, and also I am currently a certified personal trainer.
My name is Ty Floyd, and I'm a sports reporter that's been featured on ESPN, ESPNU, and Sports Illustrated.
So today, the main part of this was to shine the light on like what it means to be a woman. Like I think as men we put a lot of women in like very vulnerable situations or situations that if we were put in we would not be able to shake back from. And so by like knowing that or noticing that women are like the superhumans of this world, I've always wanted to shine light on them. Part of my tribe and the reason why Tribe is here today because it was women like my mother, of course, who raised me, my grandmother my mother who birthed me, my grandmother who raised me, my aunt who took me in at the age of 14. I was raised by my great-grandparents, and so like when it came time to go to practice and stuff, they couldn't drive me. So it was always like my teammates' moms or people like in the community just making sure that I got to practice and making sure that little Tehran was good. And then when I got to college, it was my strength coach, Corliss Fingers, who really pushed me to be the all-conference guy that I was. And so like these women, it's literally women like this that's right beside me that really helped me go. And so my question to y'all would be, the first question would be, do y'all really believe women truly support each other enough? And if no, why not? Ty?
Well, I think in my industry it can be hard sometimes because it's so competitive, but not only that, our industry is filled with misogyny. Like, it's filled with misogyny, and it is a male-dominated industry, just sports in general. So a lot of times women have this complex that we should look at each other as competition rather than using each other for help, because the only people that really understand what we go through are each other, are women. I have been blessed enough to be in an organization of women in sports where Laura Oakman, she's the third longest tenured reporter NFL on Fox. She has worked so hard to make sure that we understand and know that we should be there for each other and that women should look at each other as allies rather than competition.
So in that space, it's kind of like we already know we're limited. And so it's like directly competition, because if I help you and it's only one spot left, you might get it and I can't.
Yeah.
And so I can get that. And what would you say?
As a former collegiate track and field athlete, I'm going to go with the question to answer it, no. And I say that because with my experience, it was a lot of competition. That's what we're doing. We're trying to, it's based off placing, performance. So with that, we weren't as supportive as we could have been. And I'll be very honest, it was a time where I was very, very competitive, and it was all about that number one spot. So even myself, I had to get to a point where, even though it's a competition, it's a thing called sportsmanship, right? It's a thing called doing things in good manner and in good faith. So I would say now it is, but formerly from what I had known, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot of a helping hand if I see that you're trying to do the same thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that's just being honest.
Gotcha.
But I feel now it's a lot more camaraderie between women in sports. Now that I do bodybuilding and bikini competitions, it's very much different from track. And it was a shocker to me. Like, people would be like, "Oh my God, you did so good." And I'm like, "You just lost. You happy about that?" You know.
Yeah.
But I understood that everybody has their day.
Yeah.
You know, we all may be competing, but we all will get our win, whether it's today or tomorrow. That's how I see it. So, again, initially no, but now I would say yes.
Like in your industry, do you believe like women support each other or not?
So I'm also in the beauty industry. I'm a loctician here in Orlando. And then again, I have a all women's workout apparel. So with my experience, I experience a lot of support from women. You know, we always are encouraging each other, uplifting each other, and also just trying to, you know, enlighten one another and build each other's confidence. So from my experience, I've kind of had a lot of support from women.
Gotcha. And you, Jazz?
I would say in the beauty industry and also being a motivational speaker, I've experienced a lot of support from women. I think at the same time, too, as a motivational speaker, a lot of women are relatable to the things that I speak about. And I think in the industry that I'm in, it's mostly women who are encouraging, like, the conversations I'm having, the rooms that I'm stepping into, and things in that nature. So I think I've only experienced nothing but positivity when it comes to women.
Got you. And so how long have you been in your profession?
Honestly, it's been a long time. I would say since I was like 14, 15, I've been doing motivational speaking outside of social media. And then once I got into social media, I would say the past 3 years. But even with that, I think it's just all alignment. And then the past 3 months, I would say since I've taken it really serious, I've accumulated over 1 million views just off of the conversations that I'm having. So.
And you? Like, how long have you been in your profession?
So I've been a loctician for about 3 years. The brand has been out for about 2 years. And I'm also a trainer, and I've been a trainer for about 7 years.
Jeez. And you?
Yeesh, that's tough.
Right.
Right. I did track and field for over, I want to say maybe 12 to 15 years. I'm telling my age. And as far as the bikini bodybuilding community, I've been within that community since 2018. But seriously, I guess you could say taking it since 2021, so after the pandemic.
Gotcha. And you, tough with it?
I mean, I count college because I really hit the ground running. I didn't play no games. So I would say I'm nearing a decade that I've been in journalism.
Jeez. That's what's up. And so is your profession dominated? Well, you already said that your profession was dominated by men, and yours would be as well?
Yeah, well, I don't see too many men with bikinis on. No. But yes, it is. In my division specifically within bodybuilding is considered the toughest because it's the entry level of bodybuilding. And it's your more pageant look, but definitely with some muscle. But it is stacked. They literally just had the last national show of the year yesterday, and the girlies did not come to play. Them girls looked good, and I was like, I'm so glad I took a year off to actually try to grow. So I think that tells it all. Like, I had to take a whole year off to try to even be more competitive within my industry.
Of course, with the things that you do, Kiana, would you say your profession is more dominated by men or women?
I believe my profession is more dominated by women.
Gotcha. And Jazz?
So I'm seeking to become a psychologist. So I would say, like, in the psychology field is definitely dominated by more women than men.
Got you. And so, like, I feel like I relate when we talk about just, like, having to take the back seat, being an HBCU athlete. And this another way that I feel like why I had to use my platform or just, like, be an advocate for women, because the same way that a woman can get the same job as a man and not get paid nearly enough is the same way that I could have the same 200 yards that the tight end from SMU have and not get the opportunity because I went to Bethune-Cookman and he went to SMU. And so, like, I've always been able to put myself or like think beyond, like, dang, like, what are some of the struggles that women go through? I know for a fact, like, being a single mom is one that, like, blows me away. And so, like, I talked about it, like, the last 3 weeks, the conversation has kept coming up, like, the things that a single mom has to go through. So you sit here, like, whether you're young or old, the man can just get up and leave at any time. And then the minute he leaves, your family looking at you like, well, you were dumb for being with him, or we told you not to be with him. And so you really don't have support from your family. And then it's you sitting here raising this kid. That's not an easy task at all. And then postpartum depression plays a part. And then you just don't have the support. And so I would say to y'all, like, well, my question to y'all would be, what do you feel is the hardest part of being a woman, not just in your profession, but, like, being a woman in general?
I think the expectation that you have to get married by a certain age or accomplish something by a certain age, have kids by a certain age, or people look at you as, like, damaged goods in a sense. Like, I've had people tell me, really my own grandma, and I love her to death, so like I don't want to get it twisted, but she'll tell me, like, Ty, like, when are you going to have a baby? And I'm like, girl, I can hardly take care of myself. I'm only 26. I just got my insurance, like, my own insurance, like, a month ago. It just kicked in on November 1st. So, girl, you talking about taking care of a child? Please, no. But I think that really for women, it's just like an expectation that you have to do things, and you have to do things so quickly. And I just think that if we didn't have those expectations, a lot of us wouldn't be so stressed or just emotional about where our futures are and the things that we're doing. And so I think that's one of the hardest things about it, is just making sure that you understand that your journey is your journey and not thinking that you have to live up to certain expectations.
Okay. Kiana, what would you say would be the hardest part of being a woman?
I am a mother of two, as well as being an entrepreneur. So I think that the hardest part of being a woman is being able to balance everything that we have to do in regards to our career, in regards to taking care of our children, as well as taking care of ourselves. And also, I think a lot of people, or a lot of women, battle with comparing themselves to other women, the way that they look, their career paths, different things like that. But I would say being able to balance everything that we have on our plate. Because I think we do carry a lot more than a man would like to admit, to say that we do. Especially being a mom, because we do carry all the weight.
Got you. And Step.
What was the question again?
What's the hardest part about being a woman?
For myself, I would have to say definitely what the two have already mentioned. Really, that clicking time, that ticking time clock. I'm 31, and I have no kids, and so that's a conversation much like you stated with your grandma. It's definitely that with my mom. And I just find it interesting because you ask about kids, but it's like you're not even asking about a ring or a partner, support. So it's just, even within culture and just communities, I think for me that's the toughest part. And being able to have to decide, but it's almost like having to decide between your career or wanting to have, maybe want to start a family. It's not as, and I'm not going to say easy, because I don't think it's easy on either side, but it's not as convenient, I feel, as for men. If you're expecting, you don't have to take the time off. Like I would have to. Your body doesn't physically change like mine would. And so that's something I have to consider, especially within the industry that I am in. So I would definitely say that's the toughest part for me. Being a woman is just that clock and that constant reminder, whether it's from family, friends, on where I am as a woman, not only in my career, but motherhood, potentially being a wife, stuff like that.
So I would say the hardest part about being a woman would just be the statistic of having to always be strong and show up. I would say like studying mental health and even just specifically women go through a lot of things within their bodies and just like externally, just whatever the world comes as. And I think a lot of times when it comes to women, it's hard to show up when you're going through things already mentally, emotionally, physically, and things in those natures. So I would just say having to always just show up and be strong. That would just be mine.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. And the crazy part, like, that you just hit on, like, I was showed a text message thread just last night of, like, my family, something that I wasn't included in, but, like, my sister was just out there pouring her heart out. She was like, well, I have 3 kids, and, like, I'm not suicidal because that's just selfish, but, like, it is really getting hard. Like, it's hard to show up and be mom. It's hard to show up and be the professional. It's hard to show up and be girlfriend. It's hard to show up and do these things every single day. And nobody replied. I'm like, what? Right. And so, like, to sit in that situation or to read that thread and just be like, so y'all don't get it. Like, the mental health part, like, and sometimes our situations, we feel like, or others feel like, you put yourself in that situation. It's not her fault that her baby fathers are dang near invisible. Right. Like, these are the things that, like, I literally had these conversations like 2 weeks in a row, like how we put our women in these situations where it's dang near inevitable to get out. Like, if you can succeed as a woman in this world with the way that men think and the way that men see you, like, you are like a superhuman. And it's because they're not respected. And it is because you can just get up and leave and walk out of their life and they're stuck there with all these parenting, the parenting things that they have to do. And, like, it's just crazy. And I was talking to my OG and he was just saying, like, sometimes I want to go back and tell some of those girls that I talked to in high school, I'm sorry. And I just wish that I had nothing to do with you because my intentions were so wrong. And he was just saying, like, not I'm sorry because of the way you look now, not I'm sorry because it didn't work, but I'm sorry because you gave me something that meant the world to you, and I didn't want anything to do with you. Right. And so it's just crazy, and I'm starting to look at things like a lot different now, and that's why we wanted to start this conversation. And, like, for the most part, like, just how is it? And then for women in sports, like I said on the last time I was on, was just like, you have these women that have killed it. Serena won the whole thing while being pregnant. Candace Parker played the sport of basketball while being pregnant. And you have men that make twice the salary of a Candace Parker that can sit out because their back hurt. It just don't make sense to me. And then we sit out there and we go and we bet on these women. And it's, why you ain't get 20 rebounds? Why you ain't do that? We've never had to wake up and go play a sport on our menstrual cycle. We've never had to go through postpartum depression. We've never had to do half the things that women do. And for them to do it and do it better than us a lot of times makes them superhuman. And so, like, that's the part of the conversation that we wanted to start. And to be honest, I ran out of questions. And so we're going to turn this to the crowd. And if you have any questions and you want to, like, just chime in or ask these females up here questions, then we can go from there.
Well, before that, I just want to say that it takes men like you to acknowledge the things that women go through and then hold your peers or your friends accountable in certain aspects, or even just bring it to their attention. Like, hey, I've seen women that I care about and that I know go through X, Y, and Z. And then that way you're broadening their perspective and you're helping them. So I hope it's never lost on you that the work that you're doing right now is extremely important. And I'm sure I can speak for every woman on this panel and say that, you know, it's impactful to us and it means a lot to us, because if we don't have men like you, there's nobody pushing the needle forward, and we don't have allies. Allies are extremely important. So, you know, thank you for the work that you have been doing and your advocacy for us as two underrepresented demographics, being Black, being minorities, and being women as well.
So, yeah, with that being said, yeah, like, thank you for seeing us. It's good to be seen.
I definitely feel like you're definitely bringing awareness to these conversations. And it's amazing how there's 4 women and 1 man standing in the middle. And he's able to kind of carry the conversations, how he's carrying the conversations and bringing awareness to other men who may not be able to have an opinion in this type of conversation because they feel like they're not relatable to certain things that's taking place. But I think it's very important to have these conversations, especially from your point of view as a man. So.
And then I also like to mention, I feel like a lot of men within our community, the Black community, are raised by single women, single mothers, and sometimes they don't really look at the women nowadays and understand the same battles that their mom was going through. It's the same things that we are currently going through. So a lot of them witness their mom crying at night or hurting and different things like that. So you would think that they will play a different role in the women's lives that they are in. I just think that you should continue to encourage men to support women, to encourage them to have a lot more respect for women.
For sure. And I'll blame the culture, to be completely honest. At the age of 12, 13, 14, like the minute you step out the house, your uncle is like, how many girlfriends you got? Mm-hmm. Have you did this yet? Oh, when I was that age, and it's just like, it's the culture, man, and it's promoted. Mm-hmm. It's promoted to see how many lives you can tear up before you find your one. And it's literally the culture, man. Like, that stuff is promoted like, all right, I got this many, I got that many, I got this girl number, I got that girl number. And we make games out of it, and we don't even realize like what we're really doing to these women, these young women that's seeking attention because they didn't have their fathers. And so now they're out here seeking attention, and they don't matter where it comes from. They just want the attention, good, bad, or indifferent. And like for us to be, or for me to see it and to be able to like step outside and then just look in, like it's been a huge conversation that I've always wanted to start and have. And I thank y'all for just wanting to be a part. And like each and every one of them on this panel has been like, yeah, I'm in. Like from day one, I love your story. This is amazing. The gym is cool, but like the reason behind it is even more beautiful. And that's why like it'll always be the reason for me. Like the gym is it is what it is. And the money, it'll come. I've definitely lost way more money than I ever got from TRIB. But yes, like it's the reasoning behind it. It's the conversations that we have to push forward. Even the way that women are treated in the hospitals, our minority women, like you can't even go because you're expected to be so strong. So the minute you say you're hurting, it's kind of like, you ain't hurting for real. You're not going through anything for real. You're strong. You're Black. We don't have to give you an epidural.
You can take it.
Like, yeah. And like you can, and it's so crazy to me. So yeah, thank y'all for just being in from day one and like being a part of this first event and this podcast. Like this was big for me, and for y'all to be here, man. Like this is my tribe, like everybody in here. And so yeah, if y'all have any questions, if you have anything else that you would like to talk about, like this will be the time.
What do you all think is an advantage in like being a woman? Because there's obvious things that y'all talked about or whatever, but what do you guys think gives you an edge in life because you're a woman?
Knowledge and empathy for sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Teron. Re-ask that question.
Oh, he asked, what do you think is some of the advantages that you get in life? Yeah, like we talk about the things that like are going wrong, but like what are the advantages that you get from being a woman?
The fact that we're smart, the fact that we have knowledge, and the fact that we have empathy, and a lot of us have a broaden perspective. So I might not understand why things are happening in the current moment, but I can always maybe separate myself from the situation, have no attachment to the outcome, assess what I'm about to do, and then move forward. And I think that's like an acknowledged superpower. I think a lot of men, no offense, are like quick to kind of like fly off the handle with certain things. And so I think that is one of the superpowers that us as women have. I think our sympathy for others can really take us far.
I think what he was getting at was like the advantages, like things you get away with, like pretty privileges.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that one.
Oh, that?
Oh. Oh yeah, I was in the escape room not too long ago.
Thank you.
I don't think I got none of that.
That's the truth.
No, I was going to say
If
that
that lady
one.
wasn't in there, no, I'll still be there to this day. But yeah, go answer this question.
No, I wanted to piggyback off Teron. Definitely, we're going to just, call a spade, the pretty privilege. So being able to get away with things, maybe get free things, get in certain rooms because of looks and things of that nature, that is a thing. So
Maybe that'll work out for me soon.
it's been working beautiful. It's been working. But it's also your smarts.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I would say an advantage to be a woman would just be like not only our independence, but being able to step into these rooms where we are the underdog and still show up, over that. I would say that's kind of one of the things that makes it an advantage because we're already looked down upon. And then when we step into these rooms and we're able to dominate, it kind of flips the script a little bit.
I would like to add, I think one of the advantages would be to be able to be emotional and be authentic in our emotions. I think a lot of times men aren't given that same opportunity to kind of be emotional or to
Vulnerable.
indulge in their emotions and to be completely vulnerable. So I can say that would be one.
Gotcha. Yes.
Given the chance, like looking at yourself as a young person, if you had the opportunity to talk to any group of young girls that have grown up and just figuring out themselves, knowing what you know now, what would you tell them? What would be like your message to them?
So his question is, what would be your message to younger women? What would you tell them? What would you tell them to watch out for?
I would definitely say to show up as you. I think in the midst of you being a young woman at that, sometimes it's difficult to find out who you really want to be when you're surrounded by a lot of other women who may reflect what you may want to see yourself as. So I think to show up as yourself as a young adult is always important. I would always say to say what you mean and mean what you say. I would also just say, even with mental health in itself, I think it's not a conversation that takes place a lot. And I think a lot of high school students at that, they go through mental health and there's no awareness that comes with it. So if I was able to speak to younger adults and things in that nature, I would think, or to say that mental health is definitely an important thing to factor in when it comes to learning yourself and learning who you are as a person and how you want to show up.
I would say to love yourself, authentically love all of who you are, and I will also recommend to find a mentor, someone that is where you would like to be, but find a good mentor, someone that can guide you to the right steps.
Just piggybacking on the mental health topic, I would definitely encourage you to have those conversations, to talk about the things that may be hurting you. You don't have to hurt in silence. Because it is statistically proven as we get older, our thoughts become more concrete and we get stuck in our ways. But if you talk about some things, what you'll find is that a lot of maybe what you're experiencing, not to belittle it, somebody else may be dealing with or have dealt with it and can help navigate you through it. I work for a mental health crisis line, so I hear numerous amount of calls from young girls dealing with unregulated emotions daily. And it's because a lot of us aren't taking the time to really allow for them to open up. And I think the expectations sometimes that we have on our younger individuals causes them to not want to seem, I guess, weak. And it's not a weakness. We're all human. So if anything, I would definitely just reiterate that, just the mental health part, to talk about things.
I would say that you don't have to adhere to like society's standards of what you should be doing, what they think you should be doing, how they think you should look. None of that. Just be unapologetically and authentically yourself.
I would say no, and hold yourself to like higher standards. Don't let the conversations or like what's going on around you influence you to make those decisions of what's popular. And a lot of it, again, would be on the culture. If we had better fathers, then you wouldn't fall into these traps. If you had people to show you like, okay, we on a date, and you're not opening my door. Not only is this our last date, this is the end of the date because my daddy's coming. Just be you, and don't fall into that trap. And your standards, let your standards be your standards. Because I see that too much, where it's like, well, I didn't let the last one do it, or I let this person get away with it. But no, like stay true to who you are, and it don't matter how much you like him. It don't matter or how what the trend is. Like, stay true to you. And I think that's why me as a man get so much support, because I never changed. To this day, like going JUCO or being in parties and being in college, like, oh, you gonna smoke. To this day, I've never smoked a day in my life. I've never drunk anything a day in my life. And like just being me, I'm sure this advice could go for anybody. Is why this guy that charges $1,400 a session is right here for free, because I've been me. Him just coming out of his way, having a whole gym and whatever he had to do, just me being me, has let and allowed these people to show up for little old Tehran. You have people that have drove 3 hours just to see and be a part of this. I've had my family come from North Carolina, my best friend flying in from Nashville. Like, just be you. Somebody's going to accept you. Somebody's going to love you. And don't rush it, because if you rush it and you force it on them, they really didn't love you in the first spot. And so, yes.
So my question is, I know you talked about your organization, TRIB, and I'm not from Florida. So what do you suggest, or what do you all suggest on how do you find your tribe, especially when you may be new to the area, you might not know anyone. So how do you find those true supporters that can help uplift you, that you can be there for each other, especially when it comes to these specific industries? Personally, I work in the food insecurity realm, but I also work for the White House, so I have people who look at me and are like, we can't be ourselves around her, there's too many cameras, there's too much pressure, so I've had a lot of trouble either being judged by how I look, whether it's being pretty, the way that I dress, whatever the case may be. So how do you, being authentically yourself, find the people to support you in a place where you don't know anyone, you don't know anything about your surrounding area? Like, how do you build that tribe?
Of course, I think the generic thing to say is just like put yourself out there, but I think it's more to it than that. I think once you become who it is that you want to become, you're going to naturally attract the people who are supposed to be into your space, because once you go looking for it, you're going to find people who don't relate to you. You're going to find people who are intimidated by who you are as a person and what you bring to the table, because at the end of the day, when you're sitting at a table with other women, we all should be kind of motivating each other and not see it as oh, this person has this going on, so I don't really want to be around this person. So I would just say it's more so just not even putting yourself out there, because I'm not one of those people who just purposely put myself out there to attract people towards me. I think it's more so of a natural thing, and the people who are for you are going to be for you at the end of the day. And just like I said, you should never have anybody around you who is intimidated by who you are as a person. That should never even be a conversation. So
I like what you said, because I literally was going, I was like, I want to be your tribe will find you.
Right.
It's as simple as that. Like you said, I'm pretty much the same way. I like to consider myself an introverted extrovert. So me trying to get in the room and be friendly, hey,
Yeah, right.
it's gonna be fake. So it's not authentically me. So I do believe that when you exude who you are, you'll naturally attract that. And putting things out there, it'll come to you, you know. So I would say that your tribe will find you. Stay patient, sis.
I would say surround yourself with like-minded individuals. For example, you like to be in the gym, you like to work out, you're trying to get on your fitness journey. I met a lot of amazing people in the gym that was doing all of the same things that I was doing. So I think just kind of like surrounding yourself around individuals who are doing the same things that you do or that you like will work as well.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm like more of like a spirit like type person. Like I feel like it just like comes to you naturally, but also just finding people that you have something in common with. I don't know any of the ladies on this panel, but specifically the two Rattlers, because I think I didn't get a chance to speak to you before that.
Oh, I'm a Wildcat.
I know. So I didn't get a chance to speak to you beforehand, but it's like as soon as we mentioned that, you know, we all went to the same school, it was like instant camaraderie. We were instantly cool, and we just had conversations that were easily flowing. So maybe finding somebody that you have something in common with in places that you're commonly at will help as well. But like they said, I think it'll like come to you, and you don't have to like try so hard because what's meant to be is going to be.
I'm going to add something. I would say be friendly, be kind, be a pleasure to be around, because sometimes all it takes is just saying, hey, girl, how you doing? You know what I mean? And then you guys might hit it off. Like, I know I created some really great relationships with people just by just being myself, communicating, smiling, being friendly and kind.
That's how my friend found me.
Yeah, I was going to say start the conversation. That's something that I've been having to do, because I don't know any millionaires, and so I'm having to reach out to investors and donors, and we're like trying to get this thing started. And like the minute, like I can tell when I'm losing somebody, I can tell if they're just totally not interested just by starting the conversation. And I'm not about to beg you. I'm not about to stick around and be somewhere where I'm not, or be on the phone call when it's a red button just as big as the green one. And like, I'll just hang up. Because you're just not somebody that I want to be around. You're already not interested, so I don't even want your money. Or our values may not be the same. You may be a rapper, and the first word come out your mouth is the B word. I don't need it. I don't need it, because you're not supporting, or you're not on the same thing that I'm on. Your views of women are totally different. So I can't even let you be an investor to grow your money and grow this business that I have, because we're not on the same thing. And so I would say start the conversation, and you get those feelings like there's no tricking us. We're grown. Like nobody have to trick you that they like you or that they're interested.
And then another thing also too, I know you said that like you're new to the area and things of that nature. I think it's also important to understand when to bask in the loneliness. Do you get what I'm saying? Not really being like lonely, but being able to be alone. Because whenever you have those people come into your space, you're going to be able to pour into them the way that you've been pouring into yourself already. And then also, too, when it comes to friends, you want people in your space who are going to pour into you as much as you pour into yourself, or as much as you would want to pour into the next person. So that's why I think, just like how we all said, I think it's something, of course, I can say it's a spiritual thing, because it definitely is. But I think also, too, it's right to put yourself in those spaces, but also allow the people to come to you who are naturally for you. So,
and then one last thing, have a spirit of discernment.
Amen.
That was a good one.
I like that one.
That was a really good one.
Oh, yeah, you got to.
Yeah. Because me putting myself out there has been non-existent.
Anybody else? Yes.
What is your top role model, like throughout your life or right now, or something like that you really looked up to?
I can go. Yeah. Oh, got you. Who is your biggest role model? Who's somebody in your life that you've looked up to?
I'm sorry. Y'all can go first.
Wanda Lynette Jackson. Y'all don't know who that is, but that's my mama. That is my mom. Yeah. What you have now? Definitely has to be my mom. I am the youngest of 6, so I know all about that single mom struggle. I have seen it. I have witnessed it. And she has been my biggest role model, or I like to say shero, because of just the trials and tribulations that she had to endure as an individual, a woman, and as a single mother. And just to see, and I don't like to put all the light on being strong, but I don't know what else to characterize it as. Just being a woman of faith, the way she still cares for her kids, even though we're adults, and the way she handles others with empathy and compassion. I'm just so proud of that woman. I hope she see this.
So I would definitely say my mother as well. I feel as though she definitely taught me how to become an independent woman, how to show up in spaces and be dominant even though we're looked down upon. I will also say she's taught me the characteristics of what it means to be a woman, to do a lot of things on your own and to still show up strongly, proudly you. What else can I say? I also would say like my aunts as well, and then my grandmother. I have a lot of female influence around me. And I think they've taught me how to be able to show up as me and to not dim my light around anybody who may be intimidated or anybody who may not feel as though like I'm supposed to be in these spaces. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times as a woman, they may feel as though like you're underqualified when really you're overqualified. Preach. So I would say the females around me that have raised me since I was little, they definitely made an influence on who I am today.
Are we all saying our mama?
Do you want to say your mama? Go ahead, Brian.
No, I will honestly say my mom is my biggest role model. I look up to her. She is definitely the definition of a strong black woman. And as you said, she also has taught me how not to dim my light for no one else, to walk in the room confident and to conquer all. And she definitely supports no matter what. So I will always say my mom is my biggest role model. And I love you.
Oh, this is so hard because I feel like I've grown up around so many great people, but I think I would have to say my grandma Sue, because she met my grandfather when he was stationed overseas in Vietnam. She left her whole family to come here, didn't know a lick of English. And she learned English. She learned American culture. She raised her kids. She's raised grandkids. And she's still out here kicking it, tending to her garden and growing all her vegetables and giving it to her neighbors. Such a sweet lady. But I think the pandemic and me not working in my career for those few years and having the time to go over to her house and just sit and talk to her, I've learned so much. So I've not only got to know her as, my grandmother, obviously, who I've known since I was born, but who Sumali is as a woman and as a person. And I've been able to learn so much from her in a capacity that I didn't even think that I would be able to, because I'm thinking, culturally we're different. Age-wise, we're obviously different. That's my grandma. But no, she has taught me so much stuff, and I'm just so appreciative of her. I enjoy her little phone calls and her asking me to come down there to do some of the most mundane tasks, like picking weeds, or you're taller than me, so I need you to come help me, do this, do that. But it's because we sit and we have valuable conversations. So she's my biggest role model for sure.
Y'all can just relax, because this person, my role model is right here in front of me. And so y'all can look to y'all left and I can look at an angle to my right, because Deirdre is amazing. She's taught me how to be everything and kind, never raised her hand at me. It's just so many different things and so many conversations. I can go on and on with just our culture and how we're raised. And it's some rooms or some people I can be around, I can't be around without flinching. And my aunt just taught me just how to be kind. And no matter what's going on, you be you. No matter what people do to you, you be you. No matter how life is going, you continue to be you. And dang, Yeah. Deirdre. Dog, like, she's not even like my blood, but I live with her. Like, it's crazy. The lady is just so kind and so good to me, dog. Yeah.
That's real. Take your time.
That's beautiful.
Love on those who love on you.
Yes.
And keep them close.
Yes.
Hold on to them for sure.
But this is just like a big, this whole podcast is just a big impact. And I think it's important to shed light on women and even just you as a man, because I think just the trials and tribulations that women go through in general, just going through life and things of that nature, it makes it difficult for us to even show up as we are. And these conversations that we're having, hopefully, it makes an impact on every single person in this room, and not only the people in this room, but the people watching. And even just ourselves, just each of us being able to take something from this conversation and become better women of ourselves and things in that nature.
All right, I'm back. So Deirdre. So she lives in this house where like all of us are like old, like grown men, all right? And she come to the house and it be jacked up. And she'll tell us 50 times, like, do this, do that, do this, do that. Like the normal mom would have been kicked us out. Like, dog, y'all grown. Y'all got jobs, good paying jobs. Like, get out. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of repeating myself. Like, but she's just so kind and she's so understanding. And like, she's not outgoing. And so for me to tell like every woman in this room to go to her as a mentor, I don't even know how that would go. But like, if you could just like be a fly on the wall and just see how gentle she is and see how loving and how caring she is. And no matter what the situation is, no matter how jacked up people do her or treat her, like however, like she just remains to rise to the top. And it's like in debt or in fear or in anything, like she just continues to like provide the best Christmases ever. My Christmas list be crazy and all these things, like it happens. Like she's just a woman that's gonna make it happen and she gets it done, dude. And like, I can't even, like, we could go all day on just like her. And the only word that I can think of is kind. And so Deirdre is my biggest role model right now, like to this day and probably forever. And I had a really, really strong one in my grandma, but I didn't really understand how strong she was because I lost her at like the age of 13. But this, from 13 to 25, that little 12-year span, a lady that I didn't really talk to at first, a lady that I didn't really know much about, have like changed me and like made me the man that I am today. And so thank you.
Well, I know we may not get a chance to get that mentorship, but I can just tell by the way you are in the conversation we have had, you are a product of what she has instilled in you. Mm-hmm. So it speaks for itself.
For sure.
Y'all good? We good on questions?
Yeah.
What about y'all, Lonnie? Y'all want to say nothing?
Have this because you grew up in a home that you didn't have both parents, whatever the case may be, whatever you're missing, like, what would be your, I don't know what's the word, but like, words that you would say to somebody, you know, that even though if you don't have, your advice on, you know, if you don't have something and you know that you want better.
So are you asking like, what do you do to find that motivation to keep going when your upbringing wasn't the best, or when you was set already behind the 8 ball and like you've already put limits, not you put limits on yourself, but the world have put limits on yourself in the situation that you was brought in? Gotcha.
So I would say you don't have to be a product of your circumstances. So a lot of times, like, at the end of the day, everybody has a story, everybody has been through certain things in their lives. And if you allow that to be who you are, then you'll forever be that person. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think it's even us having, like, the question that you have is just showing, and I don't even know if it's like something that you're going through, but if it is, you're already taking the first step to become a better woman of yourself. You already have that thought in your mind where it's like, I want more than what I'm in right now. And I think a lot of times it's hard to go through life. You get what I'm saying? Even as a female. And it's hard to navigate who you want to be when there's so many different options. And I think just as a young woman in general, you don't have to be a product of your circumstances. You can become somebody. You are somebody at that. And I think it takes a lot of resilience and a lot of audacity to want to be somebody that you could have been in the environments that you were in.
Create the life that you want to live. I'm very big on that. And with that being said, every choice that you make is very important. The choices that you make literally molds who you are. So always create the life you want to live. Don't give yourself limits and rise to the top. Be who you want to be. Like, don't let anyone else create your identity. I feel as if you could become whoever you want to be in this world. Figure it out and go get it.
So, we got a little time? Okay, so I am a product, or I am what you would consider beating the statistics. Again, like I stated, my mom had 6 kids. I am the youngest of those 6. I also spent time in a foster home because my mom was a former drug addict. So a lot of adversity, a lot of cards were stacked against me growing up. But I found what most people would consider, through things that they did, creativity, an outlet. That's what led me to track. Track afforded me the opportunity to go and further my education in college. So in a sense, it's almost like turning pain into passion in a sense. You hear that saying. And what many of the panelists have said about not being a product. Understanding, please, if you don't take heed to nothing else, you have choices. My mom was a drug addict. She is not anymore. She has 31 years clean to this day. Yeah. So shout out to Jay. Right? And it should be a testimony, because it goes to show that, like she said, at any point you are the director of your life, and you have to be able to take that, not only opportunity, but you have to take that faith and make those necessary steps into changing. Right? So regardless, it ain't about where you come from, it's where you're going.
Correct.
Yeah. If you don't hear anything else from me, because a lot of things I thought I could not do, and when I tell you, I'm living beyond my wildest dream a lot of the times. And I'm blessed to be here to tell you that, because maybe what I have been through was to sit here and tell you that, what I'm telling you now.
It's a little hard for me to answer this question because of my upbringing. I grew up in a 2-parent home. My dad was in the NFL. So although I didn't always have it easy, I felt like in comparison to a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that I care about, a lot of people that I'm friends with, my upbringing is different. But those different experiences have led me to have other experiences. And what I can say is every day I wake up and I have my vision board. I see it when I go to sleep, and I see it when I wake up every single day. I think about who I'll be in 5 years, what I want her to be driving, where I want her to live, what I want her to be doing, her happiness, and, you know, all the internal as well as external things. And every single day I just wake up and I try to show up as her. I try to be her. In that way, it'll just, like, I'll just flow into being that person. And I might not even know it because it's like I had already shown up prior to where I thought, you know. So just every day, think about who you want to be. Write it down. It's very powerful to write things down. Write down the things that you want to do, who you want to be. Like an in-depth thought, though. Not just about, like, your career or what you're driving or your house, but, like, Do you want to be happy? Do you want to have a better relationship with God? All of those things. And then keep working towards it.
Never give up.
Can I say another thing too? And I don't mean to get preachy at all. I really don't mean to get preachy.
Do it.
But what I do want to say is the trials and tribulations that you go through, the obstacles that you face in life, never think that like the obstacles that you go through in life are bigger than you. You are bigger than the obstacles. The trials and tribulations that you face, they all play a part in what your testimony will be. The trials and tribulations that you face is what makes you who you are today. So whenever you feel as though the situations are bigger than you, you have to think of every situation that you've been through in your life and see the situations that you thought you wouldn't have been able to get out of. And you have to see the prayers and the blessings that you're standing in today. And I think that plays a major role in just understanding, like, not being a product of your environment, because sometimes your environment can play a major role in you not being who you are supposed to be because of the circumstances that you've been placed into or whatever you've gone through. So I think it's important for you to have the reassurance to know that, like, whatever it is that you go through, you'll be able to get through because you've been able to get through every other situation that you've been through in life. I would just say, like, find your why, and it's not so much about like why you do it or like why am I chasing this dream, and just always remember that, like, remember why I'm doing it. And sometimes a lot of people say it's like, all right, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, but just prove those that believed in you right, because there's so many people that we could, like, some people get like the biggest accomplishments of their life and they shout out the haters. But what about mama? What about grandma who prayed? Like, what about best friend that stayed on the phone with you all night? Like what about those people? What about your tribe? The ones that, like, I'm gonna always shine light on these 20 so people, because I don't care about who ditched out or who said that they was gonna come and didn't come. That's a lot of people. Like, let's love, like, where we at. And so, yeah, like, find your why, keep pushing, and your tribe will be there with you at the end.
And I just want to say, lastly, don't be afraid to take the road less traveled by. So what that means is it may get lonely with what you're trying to do, but like they said, stick to it. That's what you want to do. And your tribe will find you.
For sure.
Else? Questions?
It looks like y'all got a question.
Right.
Y'all don't got a question?
I guess we can all just say a closing statement.
In closing, can you just tell us all, like, how to be more involved with what you all are doing in your specific areas of expertise?
Oh man, yeah.
So look at first. I want to go first. What's going on first? So my social media is Golden Sade. It's GOLDENSADEE. On TikTok, that's really where I do, like, my motivational speaking. I do go on different podcasts as well. I have my own podcast coming out in 2024. It's called the She's Too Honest podcast. And, yeah, that's my platform. So it's GOLDENSADEE on TikTok and Instagram.
Okay, so my social media handles for Instagram is KTheBody. That's KTHEBODY. That's my main page. For all of you who need help with your locks or want to start your locks, my lock page is KTheBody Locks. And for those of you who want some luxurious workout apparel, my Instagram is Complexions Apparel, and that's KOMPLEXIONS Apparel.
And for my social media, Instagram is That Steplight. So it's THATS_Steplight, STEPLIGHT. You will find a lot there. A lot of my workout videos, motivational, educational. I am a certified personal trainer, so I will be back up my classes as well as my page is under construction. But yes, definitely follow me if you ever need any advice, motivation when it comes to just your physical fitness and also mental health. Don't be afraid to just hit me up. I don't mind giving out any any resources that I have. Okay.
So my Instagram, my TikTok, and my Twitter is THAI Floyd. So Ty A Floyd. I'm working on a whole bunch of community outreach stuff, hopefully collaborations with Tribe in the future. So I'm really excited about that. Next Tuesday, I go to the Black College National Championship where I'll be the reporter one, so digital reporter. Everything that has to do with the Celebration Bowl will come from me. So it's a huge accomplishment. This is my second year in a row, so I'm really excited about that. Oh, and FAMU is playing. So it's going to be great. Of course. It's going to be great.
Lovely girl.
If anybody is interested in sports media, I could definitely help. Just don't be afraid to reach out. You can also keep up with me on tyfloydonair.com.
I love it.
To the ship.
Yes.
Hell Wildcats. In conclusion, man, thank everybody. Like y'all really showed up, and I couldn't be more grateful, more thankful. Shout out to Pocket Watch Podcast for giving us this platform and letting us have these conversations. Again, it was just a group of guys that was just like, heck yeah, I'll support you, bro. Like, I'm there for you. Pocket Watch on the road, the first one ever. We'll move all this equipment so you can do this. Shout out to A-Game for being a part of this event. All Good Sweat, Step Light, Kiana, Ty, Jazz. It's so many people that really showed out and like came and gave a helping hand. And just all of you that have came and supported Little Teron Mallard. Y'all, I don't even talk to people. So it's no way that I was going to think millions of people was going to show up. Like, I'm just me. I don't be trying to like be in everybody's face. And this was better than I could have imagined. Because I would have been fine with just us five sitting up here. But it's so many people that took initiative to like come out and support, again, Little Teron Mallard. And man, this is a better feeling than scoring a touchdown for me. Like, this is a better feeling than making the biggest play or beating FAMU 4 years in a row. Like, this is a better feeling, y'all. Nah, hell Wildcats. And follow us at Tribe_Elite. That's TRIB3_3 LITE on Instagram, TikTok, and tribeelite.com is the website. Please, we're taking donations, investors, and all of that. And so please, just like get into it. We'll be doing more events, more and more events, because I see who's riding with me, and I really love like who's sticking beside me. And so we're just gonna all come up together, and we're not looking for no handouts. We don't need nobody big to come and join us. It's just, I'm happy that y'all was able to like really be here for me. And so that's it. Thank y'all.
Thanks for having me.